Hello, hello. Am I audible? Am I
Yeah, yes,
audible?
yes, Animesh, you are.
Yeah. Is this everything's like this seems okay, Like 2 months we haven't done this. I'm just a bit rusty, I guess.
You know what? It's funny. It doesn't seem like 2 months.
Really? It seems like an eternity, man.
True, true. In a certain
True.
way. I mean,
Yeah, it does, right?
there's like so much that's happened.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay. But wait. I think we need to begin again, no? It's what? Welcome to Horns Up. I'm Animesh.
and I'm Peter.
And yes, we are in a new year. We are celebrating Peter's birthday today, the 6th of January. Woohoo. Happy
Yeah,
birthday, Peter. Happy birthday. Or
thanks,
happy
man.
death day.
I was expecting that actually. But yeah, thanks, man. It's great to turn a year older, and also
Yeah,
it's fun.
once more time around the sun for you.
I know, and it's crazy that like we're doing this podcast, but I think that's a nice way of like kind of spending time on my birthday in a strange way, if I may put it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So catch me up, man. I've been away from pretty much the scene, metal music, been listening to a lot of old favorites, but really not been listening to a lot of new stuff, not caught up on any news. Treat me as a blank slate. What's happening these days?
Okay,
What
but
should I know
let's
about? What should
so
I have
so
an opinion about? What do you think I will have an opinion about?
so let's get this out of the way, right? For everyone wondering what the hell happened, why everything. Well, I don't know. It just became something that we enjoy taking a break from. And also at the same time, my man Animesh got married. So
Oh, yeah.
congratulations to you and your wife, Karen. I
Thank
can't believe I'm
you.
saying wife, Karen now.
Yeah, listeners of the podcast would may remember. I don't
Yeah,
know. Right? They've seen the progression from girlfriend to fiance to
yeah,
now wife. Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
catch me
But
up, man. What's happening?
man, a lot. Uh,
So the last time, to set the scene, the last time we met properly was Independence Rock,
yeah.
right? The resurgence of Independence Rock. And we thought like we'll do this episode where we just rant about Independence Rock and upcoming Lollapalooza and the state of live gigs and the state of rock music in India, and all of that just fizzled out because clearly both of us had more important things to do,
True,
maybe.
true.
No,
But
actually, I
okay,
definitely did.
so let's start with IROC. I mean, I'm glad you made it to IROC because I think
Yeah.
I have to go back, right? And I'm going to plug this in there because I'm actually drinking out of the Riot Peddlers Cup. But that's actually one of my early memories of Animesh on stage is performing at IROC all the way back in
Fuck. Yeah.
2012. And
Yeah.
so it was nice to see you. And that was one of the underlying themes when I looked at it off the programming of IROC, right? Is they were cashing in, if I may use the term, on nostalgia, right? You had bands like Zero, Pentagram, Parikrama, and they also tried to kind of mix it up with like newer blood, like Bloody Word, who, by the way, I think has easily performed at every festival right now. If anyone's keeping track, please correct me. But every possible festival in India, they've been performing at, and rightly so, because they've
Mm-hmm.
been just drawing the numbers. I think the day Bloodywood performed, I saw way more people going nuts than any of the other bands, right? So
Okay.
there's clearly,
This was day one, right? Because I
yeah,
only
day
came
one.
for day one.
Yeah, day one.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, it was an interesting thing to see, and I think as someone who kind of, since I gave the context of watching you guys perform at IROC, what I wasn't prepared for is now IROC to be this like massive stage setup. Uh,
iRock has
you
grown up. It's no
I
longer a
know.
teenager, it's a financially stable adult, apparently,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
can
like,
afford to splurge a bit,
yeah, I mean, like,
if you know what I mean.
I remember talking to one of the people behind iRock and telling him that I don't even remember having more than two food options at a previous iRock. So the fact that,
Yeah,
like,
which used to
now
be
I,
pre-packaged sandwiches or something.
yeah, now the fact that I had a choice, the fact
And
that,
what
like,
a choice it was.
I know. And then you had like a fully like functional bar where you had multiple drinks choices. I was like, literally at some point you were just rubbing your eyes, being like, is this really IROC or is this some other festival, right? So clearly they went like all out with that. And it was interesting that they did that, right? Because around the time IROC happened, the Lollapalooza India lineup got
Oh
announced.
man.
And I have to put this story out there because there's like various versions, but at least those on Twitter would know it. So what I did was when I saw the lineup, me being me and me being a dick sometimes online, I just put it on a tweet saying, does anyone want to buy my tickets? More like a tongue in cheek, because I thought, I paid 6K per person for these tickets. I have two tickets. I'm not really keen on this lineup, right? So I'm just going to put it out there if someone wants to buy whatever. And I had zero expectations. I thought there would be like people who like, how can you sell your tickets and all of that. And then one of my part-time gigs is teaching. So I went and I taught my class. 2 hours later, my phone has blown up. Within like 12 hours of putting up that tweet, I sold both my tickets and both buyers paid me in advance for it, which
Hmm.
to me was like, wow. So clearly, from what I'm seeing and looking at Twitter,
Were the buyers younger than you?
no, around the same age, which
Okay.
makes sense. I mean, for Imagine Dragons, The Strokes, so that kind of thing. But what was interesting was like the fact that there were people like I'm
Hmm.
clearly seeing like two conversations online through Twitter, WhatsApp groups I'm part of and stuff like that. This one group that's like, you know, I bought the early bird tickets and
Yeah.
I don't really care about this. I'm going to sell
Raise
my
hand.
tickets.
Oh no, I bought the early bird tickets, but I'm holding on to them.
And then you have another group who are like, oh, everyone's selling. I'm not going to buy directly. I'll buy it from off someone else.
Hmm.
And there are so many people who are looking for those tickets. So, like,
When is Lollapalooza again?
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but do we have a like I'm forgetting the date for it because most importantly, there is a Shakti concert
Oh,
which
dude.
is happening on 22nd January, and it's not yet been promoted really well, so tickets are still available at
So
insider.in. This is not a plug, by the way. This
28th and
is
29th of
is
Jan. So it's a week
Lollapalooza.
out. Yeah.
And even more importantly, there is also a Riot Peddlers gig which will be happening in Pune of all places on the 15th of January. So
Yeah.
every weekend of January, apart from Peter's birthday weekend, is going to be a musical gig for me. And damn, that's such a huge contrast to how we started off January 2021 and January 2022.
Yeah. I didn't realize and I should have thought that you'd also buy tickets for Shakti. But yeah, I mean, basically that's what I did. I took all the money from the Lollapalooza gig and I've been buying tickets for other gigs now.
Yeah. So there's that one thing. And then there's that the other wet dream for people these days is apparently going to Singapore to watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Anvil or whatever. That's another thing that's happening. But those are old topics. Kuch, has there been anything new, earth-shattering in the scene, outside the scene that you definitely think we should have talked about? I know there was a Metallica new song, and that episode is pending, right? Because just like everybody, every other metal commentary in the world, we need to do an analysis or a reaction to that, to
we
Lux
I think,
Eterna.
so here's the thing, right? And it's related to Metallica. So Scarfest, right? The gig we attended a few years ago. came
Hmm.
back, which is organized by the Zignema boys.
Okay.
And they basically, instead of doing like a proper show, they decided to make it a little fun and do this thing called Mumbai Metal Party, where they got 25 musicians from across bands in Bombay to kind of do covers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Uh, they opened the day, they opened the show with this band called Corner Cafe Chronicles, which is this upcoming band. I've seen them perform at the Live Box Festival. They opened for Pliny. And here's why Metallica, right, is what's a band that is synonymous with the Metallica in Bombay, even India, to be honest?
Scepter.
Yeah, but Scepter's back with Scepter 3, just like Web 3. And they go up on stage and they're like, yeah, Mumbai, we're back, all
Is
of this shit.
so wait, since you say scepter 3, is the E in scepter now reversed to look like a 3?
Yep, exactly.
Array. And mind you, I don't know about this.
So then they go up on stage and they're like, it's good to be back. It's been a while, blah, blah,
Wait, what do
blah.
you mean it's good to be back? Does this mean Timir is front and center again?
Yeah, yeah, it's the Mir, and I, from what I believe, because I've been at least seeing a few things, it's a rotating cast of musicians
So do we have
in there.
no? So it's not like we have two different versions of scepter now.
No, 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 no. So it's basically one scepter where Timir has taken back the name, kind of thing.
Okay. So
Or it's Timir's band again, if you
it's
want,
like
whatever you
Fear
want to call it.
Factory, but in a very weird way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Correct, correct. Bilkul. I'm not going to speculate more on that. But
But it's good. Yeah, yeah.
they
No, I
start,
associate scepter with Timir.
correct. So they start off their set and they're like, this is a special set today. It's a Metallica special. And I was like, really? And then,
Really
of course,
going back, really reliving the old
yeah, yeah.
days, huh?
And then it was, in a weird way, like iRock back in the day, right? Where they literally did that Metallica medley. They did one Slayer song and then added their couple of songs in there. And that was a Scepter
Did they
set. So it
play
was,
Charred?
of course,
Were
they
you
played Chart.
charred to death?
Yeah. So they played that. And
Excellent riff, by the way. Yeah.
then they played Metallica Lux Eternal
Oh, wow.
also. And I was like, damn, that was fast. Like the song just released a couple of weeks ago. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's already part of their set.
That's
So
great. Okay. So cool.
yeah,
So Scepter's back. Okay. I don't know how to feel about that, but yay, Scepter's back.
yeah. So and whatever I may make fun and it may look like I'm
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
piss
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I have to say, right, the fact that there was, you know, 500 plus people packed in Antisocial in Bombay on a Thursday night
Oh, wow. That's
says
more
a lot.
than, yeah, that's more than the people who came for Chris Adler.
Exactly, right? For
Yeah.
context. And I think like that's one of
Scepter's
the
a bigger
things.
draw than Chris Adler.
But the fact of the matter remains is coming back to what you said, right? I mean, there's a reason why there are so many gigs happening back again, is people
Hmm.
want to be attending these gigs.
Yeah.
And there is, this gap for metal shows
Uh-huh.
because honestly, you've got like your bigger programmers, and I think also while it was at least the last year where a lot of people said to me that hey, DJs are getting more preference. I think for live, people want to be watching. I mean, like, let's be honest. Anand Bhaskar Collective.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember Anand from back
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the day
Yeah.
in Descan. Uh, I watched them a few months ago, and again, 500 plus people on a weekday or so. So, like, the fact is, there are a lot of these bands that have kind of like built, or live acts that these singer songwriters, bands that have built a following during the pandemic. Now, suddenly, the moment they go back, for me, that's a true test of an artist, also, right? Like the fact that someone's putting down money, they're not just like streaming your songs, but now when
Mm-hmm.
you're playing live, they're putting down money, buying merch. You saw Bloodywood. I
Yeah,
actually went for the Bloodywood show at Antisocial, and it was the same thing. Like people went out, bought their merch,
yeah, no,
and stuff like
that's
that.
a huge. Yeah, I completely attest to that because the one gig that we played, the Riot Peddlers played in 2022. Um, Surprise, surprise, people came, people
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bought stuff, people supported us, people supported the bands, all of them, and that was great. Yeah. So clearly, so live music is back. That you've got us up to speed. Any other news kind of a thingy? Anything of that sort?
Man,
Scepter's back. Live music is back.
it's been crazy with the number of releases that just kind of came
Is
out.
the vinyl? I always fuck up how to say that.
Oh, so okay, news.
And then I remember that it's phenyl, and so I can't be saying phenyl, so I have to say vinyl.
So talking about vinyl, right? Big news last week is our good friend Sahil Makija, aka Demon Stealer. His
He's releasing his new
his
album.
his new album is out in a couple of months. So
Chalo,
hi
one
Sahil.
guest for Horns Up confirmed.
Hi Sahil, welcome back to Horns Up. We're gonna do that in a couple
Yeah.
of months. But
Oh, we
here's the
need to
thing.
get Timir also on the podcast at some point in
He
time.
he signed with a Swedish label called Black Lion,
Okay.
and they're doing like not only just like merch but also like CDs, cassettes, vinyl.
Oh, superb.
And I think like just the fact that there will be Demon Stealer vinyl, we need to get Sahil just to like talk about that, or like Demon Stealer cassettes,
Yes,
because CDs
absolutely.
he's done. I think he's tired and sick of CDs. But yeah, man, it was crazy when that news came out, and he's been working at this album for the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
slowly chipping at it. So
Yeah,
yeah, shout out
lots
Sal.
of like different musicians, guest collaborations, etc., right?
Yeah,
That'll
I
be
mean,
interesting. Yeah.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself because there's like already a bunch of music I've been getting from this year,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to release over the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I'm going to give a shout out to, and it's, call it whatever you want, but I was in a way part of this release because someone that we both know, Abhimanyu Mir. So
Mm-hmm.
during the lockdown, he did this entire thing experiment where for 4 days
Oh yeah, yeah.
he
You
did the
attended it,
entire thing
yeah.
where he like kind of was in isolation recording music. And I'll come to like why I'm talking about it now, right? But this is a little context from 2020. And this is when we'd been in the lockdown for like about 4 months, not met anybody. I had not met anyone that I knew for at least 4 months. The first person I meet as a friend
Mm.
was Abhimanyu Mir, because he, during one of those sessions that he was recording, actually allowed limited
People to
amount of
come
people
in,
to come
yeah.
in. And he says that when I met him for the first time and he met me, I think I was the first person he saw also. He said the entire mood of the thing changed. And again, he's doing modular synth music, right? So it's
Yeah.
not even like, even in the realm of metal. But the fact that I was there kind of changed the entire mood, and the kind of music he made or recorded then was very different. We've been talking about this for a while because he had like multiple ideas of having to
Mm.
release the
Yeah.
music and all. Finally, in December, he's put out 1 hour of that music, and he's
Okay.
kind of whittled that down. And it was very interesting because he did a release show of sorts at the same venue. And for
Okay.
me, it was very like
Deja
strange.
vu.
Yeah, like being in that place again and being like, wow, this is where it all went down a couple of years ago. But if like you are open to listening to all sorts of music, I'd highly recommend it, because it's one of those things that you kind of like get into. You can't just like, and it's one of those things that plays in your background, if I
Mm-hmm.
may say. I mean, with all due respect to the music, it's not like something where there's like vocals, you're kind of like figuring out the textures. It's just something that you kind of slowly kind of builds in your head.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I think we'll put a link to that. But that was kind of cool, and it's very rare that like someone like me becomes a part of music creation process. So I thought like that's something I'll always kind of uh, remember. Just give me a second. Let me tell the listeners the exact. So the release is called Screen Dream, and it's released under Abhi Mir. So if you're on Spotify, Bandcamp, whatever, we leave the link if you're lazy.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah,
So we've already started telling people what to listen to or whatever, sharing opinions. Clearly, we have a lot of catching up to do. So let's format this and plan this out. Um, Next week, I think it's due time. Let's do our albums of the year for 2022, even though it's 2 weeks late. But
yeah.
yeah,
I don't think anyone
yeah,
cares.
I don't think anyone cares. Cool. Then after that, we should do what's coming up in 2023, what we're going to be excited with, etc. in terms of releases, and also in terms of concerts, etc. Because clearly that space is something that we both are looking forward to. Then after that, we'll get back to regular Honsa programming, which would be your mix of interviews, our various formats, etc., etc. Um, that sounds like a plan, right?
Yeah, sounds good,
Yeah,
man.
a new plan for the new year. Happy birthday once again.
Thanks.
And fuck, I'm actually forgetting how do we actually generally finish? That's it for Hansa, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm at
no,
Asmani.
no, 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 no. You can reach out to us at hornsuppod.com or on Twitter at hornsuppod. I'm at Asmoani on Twitter,
I'm at Trend Crusher.
and this was Horns Up.
Hands up, guys.
Yay, we actually remembered it. All right, you're back, guys. Deal with it.